Wow. So I just got home, guys. Check Twitter and see one of the biggest trades of the past decade just went down. Calgary finally trades Matthew Tkachuk and with a 4th round pick, the Florida Panthers, for a huge haul. Jonathan Huberdeau, MacKenzie Weegar, Schwindt, and a 2025 first round pick. I was not expecting this. That is a crazy trade. Honestly, it's so exciting to see. I feel like we don't get enough of this in the NHL. More of like an NBA thing. Honestly, I didn't think there was any way Calgary could win this trade because everyone knew they had to trade Tkachuk. You didn't want to re-sign with them. And I think they actually found a way to do it. Now, people are going to say, what if Huberdeau doesn't re-sign? What if MacKenzie Weegar doesn't re-sign? I think it's worth the risk. I mean, the fact that 2 100-point players got traded for each other is also insane. That's never happened before in the history of the NHL. Like, absolute madness. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I feel like as long as one of them resigns and you win this trade, and you're then getting a season of Huberdeau with Weegar, a pick, and a prospect for Tkachuk, or Huberdeau, a season of Weegar with a first and a prospect for Tkachuk, which is what they wanted. Honestly, guys, I still can't believe this one. So, we're gonna try it in-game. This is one of the biggest trades. I feel like definitely Florida's gonna win it in-game, just due to the trade value. So Matthew Tkachuk, 23 years old, 90 overall, 1 year left at $7 million. Really, he was unsigned. Now, according to Elliot Friedman, he signed an 8-year, $9.5 million contract, which is pretty good value, right around the same amount as Johnny Gaudreau. I would say Gaudreau's got a better offensive game, but obviously Tkachuk kind of has that more grit to him, plus he's a bit younger. So with Tkachuk, they give a 4th round pick. I better get it right. What was the 4th round pick exactly? A 2025 conditional. We'll just include it. I think that's okay. So 2025 4th there, and in return they get Jonathan Huberdeau. Look at the value on him. I mean, real life, 1 year left. With him, they also get MacKenzie Weegar, who you could argue is a better defenseman than Aaron Ekblad. Now, is he? I don't think so, but you could definitely make an argument for it. Like, Florida's defense definitely not going to be anywhere near as good now without him. I'm thinking the Panthers probably are going to try and sell high on him. He's had a lot of injury issues, so maybe after, one pretty healthy season, they want to move on from him. And of course, Huberdeau, Weegar, maybe they talked to both guys, and either they didn't plan on coming back or they wanted way too much money, so they decided to move on from him. On top of that, too, you get the prospect in Schwindt. So let me see if I can find him. Not too much value, 2067, medium top 9, but still, he's a guy that maybe could be an NHL player. And they actually don't have a first-round pick the next couple years. Their first-round pick they're trading in this is the 2025 first. And as I was ending, guys, there's one thing I forgot to mention with the first-round pick, and that's the fact that Bill Zito, the GM of the Florida Panthers, seems to hate them. It's like he treats first-round picks in real life like I do in NHL 22. Just trades them away for any player he can. Obviously, he gave away the 2022 first for Sam Reinhart. 2023 first was in exchange for Ben Sherratt. The 2024 first was in exchange for Claude Giroux. And now the 2025 first is in exchange for Matthew Tkachuk. So they're going to go 4 straight years of the first, and that's assuming they don't trade the 2026. Absolutely unbelievable. And one other thing quickly too, guys, I just wanted to say both Huberdeau and Tkachuk, not only 100-point players, but they're each coming off career seasons. Before this year, Tkachuk's highest point total was 77 and 80 back in 18-19. Huberdeau's was 92 and 82, also back in 18-19. I think that was the last full season. So we're very curious to see if both these guys can kind of keep it up on their new teams with new line mates. So, wow. Yeah, look at the haul there. Tkachuk in a 4th for Huberdeau, Weegar, Schwindt in a 1st. Again, I understand Huberdeau and Weegar could not re-sign with Calgary Flames, but regardless, you're at least competing for 1 more year, and I think their team, wasn't for Gaudreau leaving, definitely got better, and they still have that cap space. Maybe with Gaudreau's money, you can go get Kadri. You could even go and get some other forwards still out there, maybe even a John Klingberg if you really want to just have a sick defense. But as you can see here, Calgary have more than 50 players. So let me add a guy that just doesn't really matter. Apologies to Poolman there. So medium difficulty as always. There's no way Florida says yes to this one. And yeah, trade rejected. And start for that trade, here's what the Flames lineup might look like. You've got Huberdeau on the first line now with Lindholm to Foley. That's pretty nasty. Mangiapane, Backlund, Coleman still the second line. I've got Pelche as the third line left winger, play with Monahan, Dubé. And then 4th line there, you got Lewis, Rosica, and Lucic. So assuming Monahan's healthy, should be 3rd line center. If not, maybe Connor Zary goes there. Pelche looked really good in the AHL last season. I feel like he's going to get shot at the NHL. I mean, definitely the Battle of Alberta's back on. After losing Gaudreau and Tkachuk, without seeing what the return was, it looked like that was over, but Flames look very, very good, at least for next season now. Defensively, they're bringing a top pairing defenseman without actually losing any of their defensemen, so that's crazy. I've got Weegar and Tanev as the top pair, Anderson Hannafin on the second, Shillington Zadorov bottom pair. They've actually got Valimaki scratched, so I wonder, is defenseman going to get moved? I know Shillington, Mangiapane both still need new contracts. I totally forgot about that too when I was saying about the Flames signing Kadri, so probably not going to be the case unless they trade away a guy. Like maybe they move a Zadorov, a Shillington, I don't know who to create some cap space to go get a forward, because I feel like on defense they've got an extra guy now. Goaltending wise, Jacob Markstrom's still a very good goalie. Vladimir's a solid backup. Like, that was such a good trade for Calgary. Again, obviously Huberdeau and Weegar could leave, but you got to bank on the fact that, you know, you still have another year now to compete. It's all about winning Stanley Cup. Imagine they go and win the Cup, they do leave. I don't think the Raptors are upset about the trade they made DeRozan for Kawhi as they win a championship. So you look at it like that, I think it's okay. Taking our first look at Huberdeau as a Calgary Flame. Not bad, honestly. Rocking the A, game face looks good. Huberdeau number 11, Calgary Flames, that is crazy. So no longer Gaudreau and Tkachuk versus McDavid and Draisaitl. It's now Huberdeau and, I don't know, Huberdeau and Lindholm versus McDavid and Draisaitl. I'll take our first look at MacKenzie Weegar now, too, on the Calgary Flames. I feel like that's not an authentic game face, but it's not terrible. Weegar 52, again, I don't think a lot of people realize just how good he is. Again, you could argue he's better than Ekblad. I feel like losing him is really going to hurt Florida's defense next year. Like, I was looking at it, doesn't have as much depth now. Speaking of which, let's try this trade from Florida's perspective. Alright guys, looking at Florida here, surprisingly Calgary's not interested in Huberdeau, at least like it doesn't mean what's on their block. Now they do like MacKenzie Weegar, which is also kind of strange, because like I said, their defense is actually already filled out. Of course, with those two guys, they get the prospect back in Cole Schwindt, who also they really aren't interested in. And then the 2025 first round pick, they also have no interest in. Okay, still I think the value is so far on Florida's side, they're going to say yes. Tkachuk, of course, isn't on the block here. And then we have to add the 2025 4th round pick. It's crazy to me we're trading 2025 picks already. Like, honestly, this is such a video game franchise mode trade. Like, you might lose two guys, you throw in a first up prospect, you get Tkachuk, who's younger, you think might turn out better, you get him on the long-term deal. Like, due to this trading away superstars, it's absolutely insane. So Calgary would have more than 50 players. So again, we'll just add somebody there. No negative value or anything. It's going to be Pullman. I feel like they've got to say yes here. I mean, again, I'm shocked by this trade. The biggest trade probably of the last decade. I'm trying to think what competes with it. You, of course, had 1-for-1 haul for Larson. This is bigger. You got 200-point players, more players involved. 1-for-1 2-in for Weber. This is bigger. Like, I'm trying to think of the last decade since 2012. I don't know what tops this. This might be the biggest trade of the last 20 years. Like, this is one of the biggest trades I've seen in my entire life. So, what do the Calgary Flames say here? Medium difficulty. Yeah, trade accepted. No way they're saying no to that. And so after the trade, guys, just an update look at Florida's lines. We've got Tkachuk, Barkov, Reinhart right now on the first line. I'm not so sure about Reinhart, but I feel like Barkov, Tkachuk for sure playing together. Second line, Verhaeghe, Lundell, Duclair. Third line there, I've got White, Bennett, Denisenko. May or may not make the team. Fourth line, Balcers, Lesteranen, Hornqvist. Like, that forward group looks really good. Now, defensively, as I mentioned, definitely looks a lot weaker. So, I've got Forsling top pair with Ekblad, Montour and Haig second pair, Stahl and Gudis bottom pair. Now, scratch, I have Delzato, who they did sign. Also, Tierney there. Could make it to the NHL team. And then, of course, in goal right now, they got Bobrovsky and Knight. So, you know, still a good team, but without MacKenzie Weegar, the defense definitely looks weaker. Again, I'm thinking they definitely, you know, found out he wasn't really going to re-sign with them, or maybe even more so than that, they just didn't want to pay him what he was asking, as he was probably asking for $8 to $9 million. They saw him more as like a $6 million guy. So first look here, guys, at Matthew Tkachuk as a Florida Panther. And there you go, number 19, Matthew Tkachuk. Obviously, it fits pretty good because the Panthers' colors are actually kind of similar to the Flames, red and gold opposed to red and yellow. But there you have it, Matthew Tkachuk, the newest member of the Florida Panthers. Again, guys, just crazy how big this trade was. And the fact it would happen late Friday night, like I said, I was just getting home, checked Twitter, and I was shocked. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know in the comments section which team you think won the trade. This is probably the first one where I think it actually might be 50-50. And as always, guys, if you did enjoy the video, leave that thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the sub button down below. Thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.